All right, so last night I was watching this little show on the Great Awakening that's been going around, that's been talked about, and I was watching with my woman, and she was like, afterwards we were talking about it, she's like, you should do a little video about this, share some of your insights. I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you have to say. So, in the back of my mind I'm going like, oh, what do I really know? I mean, who am I, right? But on the flip side of that, I have had some amazing experiences. I've had some amazing teachers, and I've done some pretty fun things. Along those lines, one of the things that really was quite cool was an experience I had with a tree. It was one of those great redwood trees in the Avenue of the Giants, I believe it was called, in Northern California. I was with my dad, so I wasn't like on any drugs or anything like that. It was totally just me. But we were on this drive, and we saw all these trees that were chopped down by this farming place, lumberjack place, and had this big Bush Cheney sign. It was, when he was trying to get an office, and it just, the conversation came towards, as we were driving, talking about that, and we eventually got to the avenue, and we were by this one tree, and I was just so like, look how beautiful these things are, Dad, and I hugged this tree, and this tree just like literally enveloped me. It was, I just went into this tree, and it was, I had this total just peace. I mean, the tree communicated with me in however way it did, just basically saying, whoa, thank you we appreciate your compassion, but it's time to take things in perspective. And then it gave me a little thing about like, humans, you guys are amazing. You can start at low vibrations and you can go to high vibrations. Every other species on the planet stays within a certain frequency, right? But humans can do this. Unlike any other species, we can levitate this thing so fast. We can just jump the thing. That's why there's so many of you on the planet right now. So Mama Gaia is going through this awakening process. You humans, like little battery packs, are able to absorb this energy and magnify it for all of creation, if you will. So this is a very special time. Don't worry about the small stuff. When you guys cut us down, you guys release this energy for you humans. We're content. We're fine. Trees vibrate at a high vibration. They pull in energy from the sky, they pull energy in from the ground, and they're content. That their frequency is just contentedness. They don't have any worries and stuff like that, so it's just a major vibrational frequency. So all these things led me just to go, okay, we don't have to worry so much and stress about it, because I get all caught up in the whole game and all this external things that are going on. I was in an environmental science course in college, crying every single time I was in class, and she's talking about all the shit show that's going on, all these, the plastics, the amount of garbage that we're producing, all the population, all the stuff that's just humans are doing to the world and how destructive we are. And then I got a realization at that time that a meteorite could crash into Earth and we'd all get recycled anyway. So what's the big deal? Whatever, it's gonna happen some way or another. I believe that humans are special. We have an amazing thing to do here on this planet during this timeline. So, along with those lines, as I was watching this show, The Great Awakening, they were talking about how, people who are vibrating at higher frequencies and are trying to, better themselves, are going through all these transitions, and a lot of us are going through moments of depression, if you will, because we're just so amped up and the external world is causing so much issues for us, and we know things are supposed to be better. We know that we're not supposed to be this bogged down by just living. We're supposed to have plenty of food. We're supposed to all have shelter. We're not supposed to be worried about living. Our health should be taken care of. It's not something that should be an issue. But instead, we're living in a state where all of these are questions. We have to work to try and get the money to try to survive. And how do we do this the easiest way without stressing out our lives too much and not working all the time instead of living? We want to live, but there's obstacles for that. So you find your time, you get your center, you get your focus, you go through these meditation things, and you're focusing on yourself and you're raising up in your vibration. And as the Earth is going through this transition, according to them, we're going to be transitioning back and forth. The veil's going to be getting thinner and thinner, and if you stay positive and you stay in your thing, you're going to make it through to the other side and live in this new paradigm of Earth, which is going to be beautiful, magnificent, high vibration. And then people who aren't there, people who have been bad and staying stuck, will stay in this vibrational Earth with earthquakes and all this craziness going on and wars and stuff like that. I fundamentally have an issue with this. My whole being tells me that's not the way the game is played. We're unity. We're all one. Either unity is truth or separation is truth. They're mutually exclusive. So one has to be an illusion. One has to be a game that we're playing. Like time and eternity. Time does not recognize eternity. Eternity cannot recognize time. One of them is a falsity. So I choose to believe that unity is what we really are, and not separated into thinking that I'm different from that tree or that couch or that star. I'm part of it. It's part of me. Same with every other being that's on this planet. I'm me right now, but I also know I've been that other person, Laird Hamilton, that's amazing surfer. I've been Laird. I've been that guy who's in India, who's the untouchable, has to go through the sewer system and clean things. I've been the torturer and the torturee, or I wouldn't notice the difference. I'm not any different from anybody else. To say that I'm better than somebody else just because I meditate and I go through my arms and stuff like that, that's what I believe I need to do right now because that makes me feel better, but I'm not better than anybody else. I'm the same as everybody else. If I walked in somebody else's shoes, I would make those exact same decisions they've made. I would be that murderer who came across and just thrashed a whole family because in my mind, when I was raised that way, that made sense to me. I'd be that president that screws over the world to make money or does whatever that happens. I'd be that person because that's the way I was raised. That's what I thought was right. Or I had brain issues something going on, but that made sense to me. I'm not evil. That's just the choices I've been led to believe are truth. So for me to think that this great awakening is going to happen where if I'm in my right vibration and just erming all the time, that I'm going to somehow transport into this wonderful new world and everything else that wasn't at that vibrational frequency is going to stay here stuck. For me not to recognize that that's part of me, that I can't leave part of me in hell and feel that that's content, that doesn't work for me. That does not make sense to me. It's all for one for all type of situation. We all want to make it through. I wouldn't be content with anybody being left behind into a world that was just left with blah and yuckiness. But I believe that we have to take care of this world. I believe that we can't leave it in a shit show and think it's going to take care of itself. Or a meteorite crashes into Earth and we all get recycled anyway. But I think we're better than this. I think humans are extraordinary. When I look at people, I see amazingness. But I believe we've just been trained poorly to think that we're nothing, that we're small, that we have to get that passing grade or we're going to fail in life. But I don't see that when I look at people. I look at each of us and go, wow, you are extraordinary. Believe in it, know it, be it. Don't believe the hype. Don't fall into that self thing, because we can all go there. I go there. I'm trying to do all these things just to be a better person, and I fall into the state of like, oh my gosh, hopelessness and helplessness. But I'm also the ambassador of play. I quickly know how to get out of it, to be honest. I'll just juggle or go kick it or do something just to keep my mind in a state of happiness, because that's right, that's my go-to. I'm always happy. It's just sometimes I forget how happy I am, and I gotta remind myself not to think thoughts that keep me away from that. Stay happy. All right, so that was just my take on it. I don't think it... Oh, one other thing that was kind of weird about this whole thing was they had David Wilcock. I like David. I've met him on Kauai. Hey, Dave, that was the guy at that place that met you and said hi. But I liked him then. I resonated with him for them, and he talked about some amazing things. I was really into his disclosure project and stuff like that. But what he said was also kind of blah, that we're good, all this technology is going to be released, and we're all going to live like billionaires. Everybody living like billionaires. Everybody's going to have multiple houses. Everyone's going to have a helicopter or fly around the world and do all these different things. And no, just say everyone's going to have the technology to have the food that they want, the clothing they need, all the things that we want that keep us from just having to deal with all the stresses of life. Everyone's going to have good health, healthcare. Everyone should have that. You know what I mean? We should all have plenty of food. We should all have plenty of clothing. We should all have the securities, the foundation for life, so that we can be who we truly are, which is a wonderful person, not stressed out about just living. For me, that doesn't make any sense. This planet has an abundance of food. Everyone has a home that they can build and they can make it themselves with a couple of friends, neighbors, build your beautiful house that you want to do, help each other do that. But we've forgotten how to do that. We've been told we can't do that. We don't have the paperwork for it. We haven't paid the right bills to do it, and that just keeps us in a state of perpetual ugh. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. Thank you for watching, and blessings be to all. Just do what you need to do. I find that if you find your little bit of happiness and you start just doing little things that way, getting yourself in better health and all these wonderful things, you will continue to want to do that and better yourself. And that helps everything, literally, as you vibrate up, if you will, or just feel better about yourself and smile more every day. This affects everything. And we can get through this. We're way better than this. All right, so that's my continual prayer. Thank you guys. Aloha.